Okay, so this first question is from Kat, KJ, Amy, Kelly, Caroline and Louise. And their first question was based around, or practicalities at least is how it's subtitled. How would it work without money is your first question. Okay, well, first of all, we have to establish why money is even a reality in our world today. It's essentially there to address an inefficiency that you've not been able to solve technically, or scarcity because you're not able to create abundance technically either. Both of this is just simply not a reality anymore, and the only reason why these technologies aren't coming through is because they are being held back by the interest of established ways of doing things to hold on to the establishment in which they serve. And so essentially we have surpassed the need for money. I would also add that money, you can't eat it, you can't put it in your car to make it go anywhere. It is a means of exchange of as I stated earlier, so it's really a surpassing of it technically. So yeah, I think that might answer that one for you.
Yeah. I would just add that the current way of doing things in a monetary system is arguably not serving the needs of most of humankind. Just to put that out there.
Yeah, so actually, there's a good point. The fact of the matter is, at the moment, money doesn't meet human needs. So the question is, of how would it work without money? Well, the current way it does work with money doesn't work. So there you go. How quickly would it happen? Slow process means it wouldn't work. It doesn't have to be a slow process. The current estimations of the building of a resource-based economy is 10 years. The building of it's easy. It's the values system. It's a value system that has to change here, and that's why we were there today. Quick social change can happen, In one lifetime we went from thinking slavery was okay to at least figuratively seeing it as a negative retroaction on our society. So there's no reason why society couldn't make the shift, and the fact is that all the factors point towards it anyway. Technology replacing human labour, the pyramid scheme of the monetary system, the fractional reserve-based monetary lending policy, as we went through, intrinsic and planned obsolescence, cyclical consumption. So you've got an ecological collapse, a financial collapse, and a collapse of the labour market brought on by these things. So the system's coming to an end whether you like it or not. It's just a case of what we're going to do past this. Would it work with a smaller population? Would it be easier if
we reach the
optimum population?
I don't know is the honest answer. If you were to do it not systems wide, if you were to do it based in one country or on one island, and you achieved a level of abundancy where you hadn't in other areas of the world, what's to stop them invading? What's to stop them coming and saying, well, we want a part of this too? So if you don't roll it out across the world, you're still going to have the conflict.
The world is a system, and you have to take into all interactions in that world. Countries are really just lines in the sand drawn with a stick by someone once upon a time. They're not really relevant. They're just a way of preserving a particular social order that exists within those borders. But if an environmental disaster happens out of the ocean, it doesn't care what border you are, it doesn't care what country you come from. So borders and countries aren't even really relevant anymore, because we do live on one planet, and we are 7 billion people strong now living on this planet together, and the problems we face today now are extremely different to what they used to be. So naturally we need a new system by which to address those problems. In terms of the optimum population, I would say that the level of inefficiency in our society today is so grossly inefficient that we could easily support many more human beings on this planet, would be my estimation, when you look at the sorts of levels of efficiency of food production, housing, energy requirements. We could easily provide a high standard of living for probably many more human beings than we even have currently on the planet, but our system is so messed up that 7 billion people are capable of doing quite a bit of damage to it. All the people on this planet would fit on the Isle of Wight shoulder to shoulder. We don't have an overpopulation problem, we have a system disorder. That's the real problem here. And overpopulation, as I mentioned in my talk at Monk's Walk, is caused by poverty. If you alleviate that, you alleviate a vast amount of the problem with overpopulation, as well as the education of people towards the emancipation of women and such things as this. If you look at certain research studies on population, you can certainly find what you're looking for there with regards to overpopulation not being as big a problem if we have a system that's different, orientated differently.
Yeah, the population growth in itself is not a problem. It's failure to meet the growing population's needs, i.e. if you can't feed them. So in a system that we currently have, it's estimated that about 30% of the food produced in the UK goes to waste, and about 40% of the food in the US goes to waste, and that could feed the planet 3 times over, just that waste, based on the most recent information we have available. So overpopulation, when you frame it in terms of not being able to feed that population, just becomes a non-issue.
Yeah. So it's again, that is a technical process, and technical process-wise, we've got the ability. So nanotechnology. There's your next question. If we have the blueprints and they allow us to use them, do we have the resources to make them? I think that's what it says.
Yeah.
Nanotechnology. We have the blueprints. In terms of nanotechnology, I'm not a nanotechnologist, so I'm not sure. But as technology increases over time, there's something called Moore's law, which I didn't mention, which is basically the exponential increase in technological efficiency and the ability to decrease the amount of space that you can house that information in. It's unaffected by political or social ramifications happening on this planet, and is going up regardless, which is why technological unemployment is such a reality, because it's going to hit certain professions that you would have thought never imaginable that they could be replaced in the growing trends as time moves forward. And nanotechnology is going to play a part in this undoubtedly, and I would think will become more ubiquitous and widespread. But my fear is what it will be used for. There's a lot of weaponry being developed now in America with new technologies such as nanotechnology that, to be perfectly honest, are just damn frightening. And I think in our current cultural and moral climate of our era, we're too stupid at the moment to have technology of such vast destructional capabilities. I think Einstein put it best when he said that our technology has exceeded our humanity. I would agree. So that finishes this particular sheet. Once again, by all means, as we always say with all of these things, go and check out everything we've said, and if any of it doesn't stand up, please do tell us, because we'd like to be updated if we're giving out false information. But quite a bit of research has gone into backing up some of that. So I hope that that answers your question, Kat, KJ, Amy, Kelly, Caroline, and Louise. And thanks.